Class 12 children, good morning. How are you all? Are you fine? Okay, did you learn the previous chapter? Okay, you learn. Time is there. Okay, so today we are all going to learn the second chapter in Indian economic development. Is nothing but Indian economy from the year of 1950 till 1990. Okay, the first chapter with a small nursery rhyme will explain clearly. Which rhyme? Already that is told you in the class, I think so. 1, 2, buckle my shoes. 3, 4, shut the door. 5, 6, pick up sticks. 7, 8, lay them straight. 9, 10, a good fat hen. How can we connect this rhyme, nursery rhyme, with the Indian economy before independence? That means almost we were all there in a slavery life. So what the rhyme it says, 1 or 2 Indians, if I am a Britisher, 1 or 2 Indians, I'll sit comfortably. They have to come and buckle my shoes. 3, 4, when it is windy, they have to shut my door as well as the windows. If it is a winter season, close it. During the summer, they have to open. Then 5, 6 of Indians, they have to go to the forest to collect the firewoods for my kitchen, for cooking. Then 7, 8 Indians, they have to chop, that is the logs, and make it ready for my kitchen. Dry the firewood for my kitchen. And 9, 10 Indians, they have to cover a hen or chicken or cock, whatever it is, for my dinner. So myself and my family members with my relatives, we can have a drink as well as the dine, and happily we will enjoy. This was the story of the Indians. In that way only we were all living before independence. Is it clear? Okay, come to the second chapter, Indian economy. In the year of 1950 to 1990. After that, what was happened in India? It will be coming under the third chapter. Then from 1991 till now, we are all going to learn in the third chapter. Come to the second one. So what was actually happened? So that is in this period, see, the first Prime Minister of India, our late Prime Minister, that is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he made lots and lots of changes in the Indian economy. Before that, what are the classification of the economies in the world? First one is the first type is capitalistic economy. The first one is the capitalistic economy. What we can say in the capitalistic economy? How can we narrate the capitalistic economy? Private, profit, market mechanism. In that way only we can explain. That means completely private owned. And profit is the main aim of it. So the price rate will be decided by the market mechanism, which are the demand and supply. In that way only the price rate will be fixed. Already we studied in the microeconomics about this chapter, demand and supply. In that way only the price fixation will be there. Already we studied. Okay. See, private is the private intervention will be there, and they are going to the aim to earn profit, and the market, through the market mechanism of the demand and supply, the price rate will be fixed. Is it clear? Then no or less intervention of the government. These are all the features of the capitalistic economy. See, most of the advanced nation, they followed, still they are following the capitalistic economy. Example, UK, USA. So the second type is nothing but the socialistic pattern of economy. Socialistic economy. So till 1991, the USSR, the Soviet Union, they followed the socialistic pattern of economy. So what are the features of socialistic economy? First of all, government, centrally planning commission will be there, and no intervention of the private. So that is a social welfare is the main motive. Okay, see, completely government owned. Everything will be decided by the centrally planning commission. So there is no chance for the private sector to interfere. So no interference of the private. What will be the aim or goal of the socialistic economy? Social welfare. People are very, very important. Their welfare is very, very important. So after independence, what type of economical system we followed? See, that is mixed economical pattern. Mixed economy we started to follow. This was who has given that is idea? Our late Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He agreed for the mixed economical. So how he made the mixed economical system? He has chosen the good features from the capitalistic economy and socialistic economy together. Then he framed the mixed economy. So what is called as a mixed economy? Public sector plus the private sector is nothing but the mixed economy. After that only, most of the advanced nations, they realized about the mixed economical system and they changed a little bit also in that one. See, next one is so for this purpose, in order to, after we are all framing the mixed economical system, we have to develop our economy. In what way we made the development of our Indian economy in the year of 1950? First of all, we made the plans. So what is a plan? A set of goals to be achieved within a specified period of time. So what is the definition for the plan? A set of goals or aims to be achieved within a specified period of time. So that is, we made the economic planning. So in those times, what was the immediate aim of the economic planning? First of all, increase the standard of living of the people. First one, that was our Indian people's standard was very, very low in those times. First aim is increase the standard of living. The second one is that is increase the production of goods and services. Because where we will increase, that is the three sectors. Which are the three sectors of the economy? First one is the primary or the agricultural sector. Second one is the industrial sector. Third one is the service sector. So that is a sector should be increased. We have to concentrate for the development of the three sectors. If we develop the three sectors, automatically we can increase the production of goods and services. The third one, if we develop that is the three sectors of the economy, definitely we can increase the employment opportunities. In that way, the economic plannings were framed. So where we got that is idea? From Soviet Russia. Because Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Communist Party in Russia, he made the 5-year plans in Soviet Union in the year of 1929. So we had the idea from Soviet Russia and we have started the 5-year plans in India. How many plans till now? That is, in the year of 2017, we had 12 5-year plans. When we have started the first 5-year plan? In the year of 1951 to 56, we had the first 5-year plan. We gave much importance to agriculture. At the same time, we reached the target also. The second plan we have started in the year of 19 1856 to 1961, we gave much importance to industries. Who was the architect of the second 5-year plan? Professor P.C. Mahalanobis. His idea only we started the second 5-year plan. Okay, see, we started so many industries, especially the heavy industry, public sector industries. We have started in the second plan year. The second plan period only. We gave a very good base for the industrialization in the second plan period. Okay, next one is the what we are all going to learn in this thing. See, what are the main general goals of the 5-year plans? What are the general goals of the 5-year plans? The first goal is the economic growth. That means we have to increase the GDP level. That is the meaning. The second goal is modernization. Second one is the modernization. What is the meaning? Adoption of the new technology. So, through our old outdated technology, try to introduce the new technology and you are eligible to adopt that new technology also. The third one is the self-reliance. What is the meaning of the self-reliance? What is the meaning of the self-reliance? Reducing the dependence on imports. That means import substituted products we have to make. Next one is the equity. So what is the meaning of the equity? That is equitable distribution of income and wealth. That is reduction in the inequality of income and wealth. If it is equally distributed, we cannot see the poor as well as the non-poor. If it is there, the differences are there, we can see rich as well as the poor, poor as well as the non-poor. So what is the main aim of that is the 5-year plan? Equity. Equity means equitable distribution of income as well as the wealth. The last one is the full employment. Creating or giving or generating employment opportunities to all the eligible people to engage themselves in some gainful employment. In that way, the goals were set by the 5-year plans. First one is the economic growth. Economic growth, it relates to the GDP growth. Modernization means adoption of the new technology. Third one is the self-reliance. Instead of the imported items, we have to produce the import substituted product in our country. The fourth one is the equity means equitable distribution of income as well as the wealth. The last one is the full employment. Generate employment opportunity to the working age group to engage themselves in some gainful employment. In that way, we have to make it. Then, what if we concentrate in agriculture? What will be the result of it? What agriculture will do for the economic development? First of all, it contributes. It contributes for the GDP calculation. Second one, it supplies agricultural products. Agricultural products, especially the food crops as well as the non-food crops itself. Next, it creates employment opportunities. Then it supplies industrial raw material. It contributes to the international trade. That means surplus will be there. Definitely we can export to other countries. It contributes international trade. Then it contributes to the domestic trade also within the country. It is eligible to sell the products to all kinds of people. Then it increases the wealth of the nation. In that way, agriculture, it gives its contribution for the development of the economy. Then the next one is what are the problems the Indian government faced in those time in agricultural sector? What are the problems? First of all, lack of irrigational facilities. Second problem, deficiency in finance. Second one is the deficiency in finance. Indian farmers, they were all suffering. Third one is the small and scattered land holdings. Land holdings. The last one is the lack of organized marketing system. So they couldn't sell their own products at the proper price rate. These were all the problems Indian government, the farmers, they faced. Which one is they were all suffering with the irrigation, lack of irrigation facilities, deficiency in the finance, small and scattered land holdings that was there in those times. Then they did not have the organized marketing system. See what type of reforms were made in those time in the planned period. First reform is the technical reforms. They made the planned period. They made the technical reforms in agricultural sector. First of all, HYV seeds introduced. Second one is there. Immediately, the chemical fertilizers and pesticides that was introduced. Then scientific farm management practices automatically started. Scientifically, research and development organization that was set up in those time in order to concentrate to find out the new seeds and all. Next one is the mechanized means of cultivation that was there. In that way, they made the technical reforms in those planned period. Land reforms also they made. What they made the land reforms, in what way they have done the land reforms? First one is the abolition of the intermediaries. In those time and under the Britishers' time, the zamindari system that was there, the Mahalware, they were the mediators between the Britishers as well as the Indian farmers, Indian peasants. They have collected more of, that is, rents from the farmers. They compelled the farmers to give the rents. At the same time, they were all handing over all the things to the Britishers. In that way, they were all appointed by the Britishers. So first it abolition of intermediaries that was there. Regulation of, that is, a rent introduced in those times. Then Land Ceiling Act also introduced. So each and every individual, they have to hold only a limited land size. This was introduced in the planned period. Then what are the general reforms introduced in the planned period? First one is they concentrated in the irrigational facilities. So they started to construct dams as well as the canals to make the proper irrigational facilities in India. Then they arranged that is a provision of credit to the farmers. Provision of credit to the farmers. They started the regulated marketing system for the welfare of the farmers. The last one is the price support policy. Now we are all saying as the MSP price, a minimum support price. Before the sowing season, the price will be introduced, the price will be announced to the farmers. Okay, so the price support policy introduced for the farmers. In that way, 3 reforms that was made in those planned period. First one is the technical reform. They introduced high yielding variety seeds, chemical fertilizer as well as mechanized tools for the cultivation. Land reforms, abolition of the intermediaries, regulation of the rent and Land Ceiling Act was implemented. General reforms, they concentrated in the irrigational facilities, provision of the credit to the farmers, regulated marketing system they introduced. Price supply policy automatically introduced to the welfare of the farmers. Okay, come to the second part. Which one now? Industries, industrialization. The planned period, how they concentrated in the Indian industries. So, first of all, that is, it shows the industries will give the source of employment. Then mechanized means of farming, it gives the sources for the mechanized means of farming. It is helping a lot for the farming, tractors, tillers, everything. It comes from the development of the industries. Then it creates the growth of civilization. The infrastructural growth also completely based on the development of the industries. In that way, industrialization contributes to the economic development of a country. Then the next part it says about the industrial policy resolution. See, 1956. In the year of 1956, in the industrial policy resolution that was introduced, that was formulated. See, in this thing, threefold industrial classification that was there. The industries were classified into three categories: Schedule A, Schedule B, Schedule C. What type of industries are coming under A, B and C? On what basis we can classify the industries? On the basis of the role of state. In the Schedule A industries, 17 industries were coming under. So these are all completely state or the government owned. Okay. So what type of industries were coming under the Schedule A? Arms and ammunitions, atomic energy, iron and steel, heavy machinery, mineral oil and coal. In that way, 17 industries were coming under the Schedule A. In the Schedule B, public private sector. In that way, so public industries, in the public industries, the private sector participation was there. How many industries were coming? 12 the industries were coming under. What type of industries? Aluminium, machine tools, drugs, chemical fertilizer, road and sea transport, mines and minerals. These type of industries are coming under the second category. In the Schedule C, which are the industries are not coming in the Schedule A and Schedule B, these are all coming under the Schedule C. That means completely owned by the private sector. Is it clear? So when this was made? In the year of 1956, Industrial Resolution Policy made it. Okay. So which are the other things they concentrated in that one? Cottage and the small scale industries. That is the policy, 1956 industrial policy, they concentrated in both the industries to develop. Okay, next one is the import substitution. They concentrated more. Import, instead of the imported item, we have to manufacture the products inside the country. So they concentrated in the import substitution and industrial licensing also. That means if you start an industry, that is a private industry, you have to get the license from the government to start. In that way they made. But some sort of the concentration emphasis was there in the 1950. Which are the areas? First one is the heavy industries. And they plan to expand public sector. In that way, the industrial policy resolution, the second plan, they concentrated. And one more thing, in agriculture, they made a very big change in that one, that is called as the Green Revolution. So, in the year of 1960s, they started the Green Revolution in India. What was the background for that one? In the 10th standard, we studied 1943 Bengal famine. This was the base for the Green Revolution 19. But in the year of 1966, 67 and 68, 3 years, we concentrated on two crops. Which are they? Rice as well as the wheat. Because rice is the staple food in South India and wheat is the staple food in the North India. So we concentrated two main crops in the year of 1966, 67, 68. but immediately 25% of the growth yield we got in the farming, in the agriculture. In that, before that, we were all importing the food grains from foreign country. Because of the Green Revolution, 25% of the growth, the yield that was more in the Green Revolution. Okay, children, we finished the second chapter. Thank you very much. Study well. Okay.